President Donald Trump is blasting his former campaign executive and White House strategist ahead of the release of a new, unflattering book. When he was fired, he not only lost his job, he lost his mind, Trump said of Steve Bannon in a statement the White House issued. Now that he is on his own, Steve is learning that winning isn't as easy as I make it look. The statement represented an emphatic break from the person considered the architect of Trump's presidential campaign. Bannon continued to enjoy access to the president after he left the White House, but that has ended, one person familiar with the matter said. A new book by writer Michael Wolff offers a series of explosive revelations, including that Trump never expected to win the 2016 presidential race. An adaptation of Fire and Fury, Inside the Trump White House, published Wednesday in New York Magazine, says Trump believed his nomination would boost his brand and deliver untold opportunities. An excerpt published by The Guardian says Bannon described a Trump Tower meeting between Donald Trump Jr. and a group of Russians as treasonous and unpatriotic. You realize where this is going, Bannon told Wolff. This is all about money laundering. Mueller chose senior prosecutor Andrew Weissman first, and he is a money laundering guy. Their path to effing Trump goes right through Paul Manafort, Don Jr. and Jared Kushner. It's as plain as a hair on your face. They're going to crack Don Jr. like an egg on national TV, the Breitbart News chief also said. In his 265-word statement, Trump went on to indict Bannon for some of his activities at the White House and afterward. He blamed him for the loss of a Republican Senate seat in Alabama in a special election last month and accused him of leaking to news reporters while he served as the White House chief strategist. Steve had very little to do with our historic victory, which was delivered by the forgotten men and women of this country, Trump said. Yet Steve had everything to do with the loss of a Senate seat in Alabama held for more than 30 years by Republicans. Steve doesn't represent my base, he's only in it for himself. Bannon backed former state Supreme Court Justice Roy Moore over Trump's preferred candidate, incumbent Senator Luther Strange, in a primary election for the Alabama seat. Moore lost to Democrat Doug Jones in the special election after several women accused him of sexual misconduct while they were teenagers. Steve pretends to be at war with the media, which he calls the opposition party, yet he spent his time at the White House leaking false information to the media to make himself seem far more important than he was, Trump said. It is the only thing he does well. Steve was rarely in a one-on-one meeting with me and only pretends to have had influence to fool a few people with no access and no clue, whom he helped write phony books. Bannon, reached by Bloomberg News, declined to comment on the remarks published by The Guardian. The Washington Post, CQ Roll Call, New York Daily News contributed to this report.